Howdy guys, it's Joe, and today I want to talk to you guys about the multiple reasons why I hate McCree. Now, McCree's been a character that's been in a very awkward spot, and before we get started, I do want to say that I've wanted to main McCree ever since the beta, ever since before the beta. When I watched all those unit loss videos, all those Overwatch Central videos, all those videos explaining people's kits, McCree was the person that I wanted to main. He looked like the funnest character in my opinion, had a lot of burst damage, and overall just, a cowboy that was also kind of cybernetic. Not really, but his gun was and his ammo. It was really cool for me. And then I got into my first games, and he was actually really fun. He had a lot of burst with his right click, and of course you could just kind of maul through tanks with his right click, E, shift, right click. Now, of course, with this being said, I'm not gonna lie, it was overpowered, and it did honestly need a nerf. Right after that, of course, McCree got nerfed pretty hard, and he wasn't really usable at all for quite a while. Then, of course, right after that, we all remember when McCree could shoot up to 70 meters, I think, maybe even more, with perfect range, perfect accuracy, perfect headshot damage. He became even more broken than, of course, he was before that, and then again, he was nerfed down. And he became usable for a while, and then eventually, after Soldier got buffed, McCree kind of went to the state where he's not very good at all right now. And I want to put a caveat on that, though. He's not very good unless you are a godlike person playing the character. And that's the thing that's had me troubled with this character for so much time. I've watched so many games of people playing McCree and doing awful with the character. So many games of me playing McCree and doing awful with the character. And then so many other games of other people playing McCree, doing amazing. Me sometimes, doing amazing. And there's just something about the character in the state that he is right now, where he feels strong enough that you can do good with him. He feels strong enough that you can carry games. But he's just weak enough that he isn't quite at that soldier level, and he's just weak enough that you have to be a lot better than your enemies to even do okay with him. Of course, everybody knows the problems about McCree's kit. Right now, he doesn't really excel way too much at anything. He is really good at anti-flanking, but other than that, Soldier can often do very similar things to McCree. Maybe not always as good, but his kit's just a lot more general than McCree's, and in a lot more situations, it just makes sense to pick Soldier over McCree. But still, McCree does have something about him that just feels a little bit special, and that is the headshots. When you watch a really good McCree play this character, you see them getting headshot after headshot after headshot, mauling through people, IDDQ's players, all these other players. You see some crazy stuff with McCree, but what makes me hate him so much sometimes is the fact that I want to play him. I want to be able to go into my games, pick this guy up, and maul through the enemy team, just carrying everybody with him, as I see that it can be done. But a lot of the times when you get into the game yourself, he's just so hard to play. He's just so different. It's just so difficult, and his kit is just so weird to get used to, and so much reliant on his main pistol weapon. That is essentially McCree in a nutshell. He used to have, that cool Peacemaker combo, of course using your right click or just using your alternate fire, getting all 6 of your shots into the enemy tank, taking them out, and yet a few other things as well. But as it is right now, that's not really what McCree is. Right now, he's a sharpshooter. That is only a sharpshooter. You have to be amazing with range at that, and if you're not, you should probably be playing somebody like Soldier, as he's just better on a lot of occasions. With this put together, though, I feel like it adds up to the situation of McCree becoming a very hard pick to utilize and a very hard pick in order to want to play. Do you think that your aim today is good enough to get headshots from halfway across the map? Or do you think that maybe you should go for a little bit easier pick, that being Soldier, but maybe not always get quite as much payoff? As McCree can get a lot of payoff. Two-shotting people from pretty decent ranges, it's pretty nice to do. But other than, McCree's very high reliance on his main weapon, and pretty much that being the entire character, instead of what it used to be, which was his entire kit being a character, which kind of sucks, there's also the fact that McCree's kit, overall, doesn't really feel like it's a good kit. I've heard a lot of people complain about this. I've seen a lot of videos complaining about this. His ultimate, it does make sense. It's a dueler ultimate. It feels like one of those scenes out of a movie where you'd see somebody just shoot every single person at the same time. One of those cowboy movies. But in the game, it doesn't really work like that. It feels really slow, and with his normal kit of running around, shooting people, going into where you're just kind of standing still for a while, it doesn't really feel like it fits on the character at all right now, really at all. For a second it did, when McCree was super far ranged, but now where he's a middle range character, it honestly doesn't feel way too good. As well with this, of course, his flashbang feels really awkward. Often when you get a flashbang, you can't really still get a kill with it. It's not long enough where you can easily line up 2 headshots, but at the same time, it's not like at a short enough pace where you can't get at least 1, I guess. So you can usually do decently well with it, but it's just kind of awkward to get kills with it. As well, getting kills with your right click feels super jank as the character. They made him shoot a little bit faster, which is a cool thing about him. But at the same time, since it's so little damage right now, a lot of times your mouse will just kind of go off to the side a little bit. It just won't happen to hit all the bullets, and you just won't get a kill with it. So a lot of times it feels kind of useless, and it feels like maybe I should just go E and try to double headshot instead. His kit just overall feels really kind of weird. And of course, we also have to talk about that shift, where it is essentially just a very bad version of tracers with a super long cooldown that does of course reload your bullets, but at the same time you're going to be at a medium range anyways, so it doesn't matter way too much. And of course your right click isn't way too good anymore, so that doesn't matter way too much either that you're reloading it. Overall, it feels like his kit is really kind of outdated, and it feels like it doesn't quite fit into the game. And sometimes, of course, I've seen from a lot of other videos, people say it feels like Blizzard just hates McCree. They hate how his kit works, and they're just trying to do really nothing with the character. They're just gonna leave him as he is. And I hope that we do see some change sometime in the future. Personally, I do want to love McCree. I want to be able to play the character, and I want him to go back more to where he was at the beginning of the game when he was released. Maybe not as overpowered, but more unique, where he could do more stuff with his kit other than just shooting his main primary pistol. That isn't quite as cool as when he can use all of his abilities together and go for some really cool stuff. Of course, a lot of people have, suggested a few changes. Maybe make so that when you get a kill, your shift resets. Maybe make so your right click does just a little bit more damage. Maybe makes you shoot a little bit faster or reload a little bit faster. There's a lot of different changes that could maybe help the character. But overall, as he is right now, I kind of just hate McCree because he feels so awkward, and he feels so good, but just so bad at the same time, just kind of depending on what game you're playing. And of course, also playing with a soldier, that could especially make you feel just a little bit bad. Anyways, as always guys, thank you all for watching. That's all I'm going to say about McCree today. I feel like he can be a very good character, especially in the right hands, but there are a few reasons to hate him and some reasons about his kit that just don't feel quite right, that I hope that someday can be fixed. Anyways, thanks as always for watching. If there's somebody in the comments, like there is always in one of these videos, saying that you just hate the character because you can't play them right, then good job. You've come up with the best solution as always. I'm very proud of you. Anyways, as always, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, whatever you want to say. Subscribe if you want to see more like this in the future. And as always, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.